What up, guys? GangstaPranksta here, bringing you another weekly wrestling review for December 3rd. Welcome to the show. If you're new to the show, it's where we talk about everything pro wrestling, from news, reviews, to predictions. We talk about it all. So welcome if you're a fan of professional wrestling. First off, I want to say thanks for the birthday wishes last week. Much appreciated. You didn't have to. First thing I want to address before I start the show, you're probably asking me, where are all the WWE 12 videos you promised last week? Well, change of plans. So originally, I was talking about doing a Road to WrestleMania and a WWE Universe series. Well, I changed my mind about doing the Road to WrestleMania. I'm not going to do that. But I am going to do WWE Universe. And the reason I haven't started it yet is because what I want to do with that show is I want to have, because you can have separate stuff and you can have like, I don't know, you can create your own shows basically. So I want to have one show for WWE talent and one show for TNA. So what I'm waiting for is for people to make better cause of TNA wrestlers. So I'm going to wait I waited a couple weeks. I'm going to start today after I finish this. I'm going to go look for the cause that I need. So that's why you haven't seen any, but I'm going to try and upload it by the middle of this week. So I apologize for no WWE 12 videos so far. My bad. I've just been waiting for people to make cause. So yeah, that's about it. So let's get on with the show. Today we got reviews for Raw, Smackdown, Impact, and Ring of Honor TV. And a little bit of news. Not a lot, just very small. So first, let's start off with Raw. We have Roddy Piper comes out and hosts Piper's Pit. Always a pleasure to see Roddy Piper back on wrestling. Anyways, he brings out John Cena, who's his guest, and Cena comes out, and this was a really good Piper's Pit segment. You know, the whole time Piper's trying to tell Cena, you know, the fans hate you, so tell them to go fuck off, basically. And Cena's like, you know, no, I'm not going to do that. The fans, they mean a lot to me, and even though they boo me, the kids look up to me and they point to a family in the show, and their kids are dressed up in John Cena gear, and he's like, I do it for them. And yeah, so Piper, just the whole time, he was basically telling Cena to turn heel and tell the fans, you know, go F yourselves, stop booing me, I'm the best in the world, or whatever, something like that. You know, he just wanted Cena to become a heel, basically. But yeah, it was really good. I do recommend that. Next we got John Morrison versus The Miz in a Falls Count Anywhere match. Pretty good match. Miz wins. And say goodbye to John Morrison, because this was allegedly his last WWE appearance. I don't know if it's for a while. I don't know if he's going to come back or whatever. But as of now, he's done with WWE. He can't go to TNA. He has to wait 90 days. But yeah, he's pretty much done with WWE. I don't know if they signed him to another contract, so they're going to rewrite him off TV for a little bit, let the fans forget about him, and then maybe bring him back eventually. I don't know. I don't know the whole situation. But as of now, he's not with WWE anymore. So, yeah, he's not going to be on Raw, which kind of sucks. I was not a huge fan of Morrison. I liked him. And it was cool to see him progress, you know. I remember when he first debuted in WWE, and like, I don't know if many people remember this, but he was, when Eric Bischoff was general manager of Raw, he was his assistant. He was Bischoff's assistant. They called him Johnny Nitro, you know, Nitro for WCW. I guess it was like a stab at Bischoff, Nitro, whatever. So that's how he got his name, and then he went back, and then after a couple years, he debuted Eminem, and it was just cool to see him progress from a tag team wrestler, a good tag team. I liked Eminem a lot. And then into a good singles competitor. So we'll see if he comes back to WWE, or apparently TNA is interested in bringing him and Melina in. We'll just have to see and wait. So next we got Kelly and Alicia Fox versus the Bellas. This was okay. Alicia and Kelly win. Best part of the match was Beth Phoenix and Natalya. They were like training or whatever. And they came out and they did a lap around the ring, and then they left. I thought it was hilarious because it was just so random. But yeah, that was the best part of the match. Next we got Dolph Ziggler versus Randy Orton. Good match. Ziggler wins. Next we got Daniel Bryan and Michael Cole are in the ring. Cole asked Daniel Bryan about his world title match on SmackDown. that he has coming up in the steel cage. And Daniel Bryan says he will win. And basically Cole takes cheap shots at him. Eventually they go back and forth. And Mark Henry comes out and says he's injured, but he will still wrestle Daniel Bryan. And Daniel gets in Henry's face, and he kicks him in Henry's injured leg. And then he walks off. This was whatever. And people say that Daniel Bryan does not have good mic skills. I thought he did pretty good in this. You know, that's my opinion, though. I thought he did pretty good in this. A lot of people say, you know, he's a good wrestler, but he's not good on the mic. Well, there's a lot of people that are like that. Bret Hart, for a long time, he wasn't that good on the mic. But, you know, I don't know. You grow into it. You know, you do a lot more. You become more comfortable. Like my commentaries, for an example. When I started back in April, you can go listen to them. I have a playlist full of my weekly wrestling reviews. You go listen to the earlier ones. They are not as good as right now because, you know, when I did them then, I was kind of nervous. Not nervous, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's uncomfortable. I wasn't used to it, but now I'm used to it and I'm more comfortable with it. Hopefully that comes through in the commentaries. And yeah, but yeah, you just gotta, the more you do it, the better you're at it. The better you're at it. Does that make sense? I don't know. Next, we got Zack Ryder versus Jack Swagger. Pretty good match. Zack Ryder wins. Last but not least, CM Punk versus Del Rio for the WWE title. This was a really good match. I definitely recommend this. Recommend that. The main event, CM Punk and Del Rio, and the Piper's Pit. Those were really good. Next, we got TNA Impact. It starts off with Sting. He's in the ring. He calls out Robert Roode. Roode comes out, and him and Sting go back and forth a little bit. And then AJ Styles comes out, Jeff Hardy comes out, and Sting says there'll be a 3-way match tonight, AJ, Hardy, and Roode. But this whole thing, AJ just looks stupid as shit because he didn't talk the whole time. You know, Hardy got a little time to talk, Sting talked, Roode talked. AJ just stood there with his thumb up his ass. So I would have liked to see him say something like either I'm going to rip your head off, Roode, or just something. Just say something. But he just stood there with his hands in his pocket. Next, we got Inc. versus Mexican America versus D'Angelo Dinero and Devon. It was a 3-way tag match. Pretty good match. Devon and Pope win and get a tag team title match at the pay-per-view. Next, we got Austin Aries comes out and brags about having no competition in TNA. Kid Cash comes out and says they had an agreement to take out Jesse Sorensen, but Aries turned his back on him. They go back and forth and ends with Aries saying if Cash shakes his hand, Kid Cash will get a X Division title match. They shake each other's hands and they sucker punch each other. I don't know if Kid Cash is turning face. I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, you have so many other talent in the X Division, and I'll get to that later in the news section, but whatever, I'll save that for the news section. Next we got Mickie James versus ODB. Street fight. This was a good match. I enjoyed this. Mickie wins. We got Taz and Mike Tenay interview James Storm and ask him about his injury. He says he'll be back soon. Kurt Angle comes out and says, how does Storm feel? And Storm says when he comes back, he's going to kick Angle's ass. And he said he's going to be back next week. Next, we got RVD versus Robbie E. TV title match. Pretty good match. Robbie E wins. Last but not least, AJ Styles versus Robert Roode versus Jeff Hardy. Good match. Roode wins. After the match, Sting comes out and says Hardy and Jeff Jarrett will have a match at Final Resolution. The show was pretty good, except a couple things I got to harp on. First, we had horrible backstage segments. There were some pretty bad ones. There was knockouts, car wash, whatever. That was okay, just because we got to see them in bikinis. Other than that, it was just blah. Gunner invading a gym looking for Garrett Bischoff. That was pretty bad. And Bully Ray and Scott Steiner trying to seduce Abyss with women. That was that was pretty funny. But yeah, those are just like bad. But the Scott Steiner, Bully Ray, they're funny. But the whole thing trying to seduce Abyss with women was just blah. Next we got WWE Smackdown. And this show was pretty bad, with the exception of a few things, which I will get at. Starts out with Mick Foley comes out dressed as Santa, and he talks about how he loves Christmas. He announces some matches and brings out Michael Cole looking like Rudolph. He brings Booker T dressed as Santa, and Booker does a spin-a-rooney. Cody Rhodes comes out and goes back and forth. Foley says they'll have a match tonight, but they don't have a match tonight, and this is a backstage segment, but I'll talk about them. Cody Rhodes attacked Booker T, and why would they waste this match on a TV? You know, save it for a pay-per-view, which is what they're probably going to do. Hopefully it's not for the Intercontinental title. Next we got Divas Mistletoe on a pole match. This was a blah. Brie Bella wins, and in the beginning, Foley's like, the winner will get something that they really, really want. And, you know, he made it seem they're going to get a Divas title match or whatever. And then after Brie wins, Foley comes out and says, no, you will get to kiss the superstar that you really want to kiss from now till Christmas. And, you know, it's just like really dumb. Anyways, it's probably going to be Del Rio, because there's been a lot of backstage segments with Del Rio and the Bellas. So look forward to that soon. That's going to be awesome. Next we got Justin Gabriel versus Jinder Mahal. This was okay. Justin Gabriel wins. Kofi Kingston versus Tyson Kidd. Pretty good match. Kofi wins except the end. So Kofi, he took Michael Cole's Rudolph mask and put it on his head, and then did a crossbody, and you had Josh Matthews scream, "Flying Reindeer!" It was dumb. You could have just had Kofi at the Trouble in Paradise, and then take Michael Cole's thing and celebrate with it in it. I don't know. Whatever. This was just really dumb. Randy Orton versus David Otunga street fight. This was pretty good. Best part was David Otunga was like walking up the ramp, and Randy Orton got a fucking present and fucking nailed Otunga in the back of the head, and Otunga just dropped like a rock. I was like, really? You fucking get knocked down from a box? I thought you were a big bad wrestler. Guess not. But yeah, David Otunga just got his ass kicked this whole match. This was pretty fun to watch. 20-man All I Want for Christmas Battle Royal. So we got Sheamus, Usos, Darren Young, Ezekiel Jackson, Yoshitatsu, Tyler Rex, Ted DiBiase, Heath Slater, Titus O'Neil, Jinder Mahal, Hunico, Percy Wattens, Kofi Kingston, Tyson Kidd, Kurt Hawkins, Justin Gabriel, JTG, Johnny Curtis, and Hornswoggle. So all I want for Christmas is to never see these guys ever again. They pretty much put all the guys that never appear on TV all in this Battle Royal. It was... Why? Why would you do that? Tyler Rex, when's the last time we saw him on TV? Kurt Hawkins, the Usos, Yoshitatsu. It's like no one cares about these guys. And you put them all in one big Battle Royale. There's a couple people that people care about, like Kofi and Sheamus and Ted DiBiase. But like, other than that, it was just nobody of importance was in there. And you could have like Jack Swagger, Zack Ryder could have been in there. Who else? Cody Rhodes could have been in here. There's a bunch of people that could have been in here, but they're just like, let's put fucking JTG. Let's put a bunch of guys from NXT that no one watches. It's just mind-blowing, whatever. It was a pretty good match, whatever. Hornswoggle wins, and what he wants for Christmas in a backstage segment, he talks to Santa, and he gets the ability to talk, so that's fantastic. Next, or last but not least, Daniel Bryan vs. Mark Henry World Title Steel Cage match. This was a good match. Sadly, Daniel Bryan lost. Mark Henry wins. And we will have Mark Henry vs. Big Show in a TLC match at the TLC pay-per-view. That should be interesting. So yeah, SmackDown was pretty just blah, except for the main event, which was good. Everything else, David Otunga and Randy Orton, that was pretty fun. Everything else was just blah, and horrible backstage segments. They were not very good. Way too many, and long and boring. Anyways, next we got Ring of Honor. Starts out with the Briscoe brothers versus Caprice Coleman and Cedric Alexander. Pretty good match. Caprice and Coleman win by DQ after the Briscoes shoved down a ref. After the match, Wrestling's Greatest Tag Team come out and chase the Briscoes away. Next is Sean Casey and Raphael Constantine versus Mike Elgin in a handicap match. Pretty good match. Mike Elgin wins and destroys these guys. One of these guys got fucking dropped on his head, and it was scary. Oh my god, it was scary. This guy like almost got really fucked up in the match. I hope he's okay. But yeah, he got like dropped on his head, and I was like, oh fuck. So I hope he's okay. Next we got Jim Cornette says next week Kevin Steen will be in Ring of Honor, and Cornette will talk to him, and that should be interesting. I wonder what's gonna happen. Next we got last but not least, Jay Lethal versus El Generico TV title match. Good match. Lethal wins by time limit. They have time limits on their matches, and the time limit went up. After the match, Lethal brawls with Mike Bennett, and then El Generico does a dive onto them. So we're probably going to get a 3-way at Final Battle, which is awesome. Another good match for this awesome pay-per-view. Can't wait. This pay-per-view is going to be tits, and it's going to be only $15. Can't wait for that. Last but not least, whatever. We got some news real quick. Jackie Moore, her contract is up in TNA. For those of you who don't know, a couple months ago she came back with ODB and they wanted a job and they feuded with Velvet. You know, they completely forgot they signed her because they like never used her again. And there's a couple guys, they always sign like a shit ton of guys and they never use them. Like look at the X Division. After Destination X, they're like, we're gonna sign all these X Division guys and they're gonna appear and they're gonna have great X Division matches. Half those guys had like one or less match on TV. Let's go down the list. Zema Ion, he maybe had 1 or 2 matches since he was signed. Mark Haskins never had a match. Tony Nese never had a match. There was another guy that they signed that they never used. I don't remember his name, but the point is they sign all these talents and then they just forget about them. And that's what happened with Jackie Moore. And, you know, they finally used ODB, who I think was great. When she was in TNA in her first run, she was great. The fans loved her, and TNA didn't do anything with her, so she just wasn't used, and then the fans didn't care about her because she was never on TV. And then the whole Colin Delaney thing. Oh, that was bad. Anyways, it's just like, yeah, it's just another case. They sign somebody and they just never use them because they have so much talent on the roster and they don't know how to use them, when to use them, where to use them. Like, I don't know. She could have been sent to OVW and helped train some of the younger talent because she is an older wrestler. She's been in wrestling for like 20 years or something. Yeah, she's been in wrestling for a long time, so she could be used to help the younger wrestlers, male or female. She was on Tough Enough the first season or whatever. She was one of the trainers. So yeah, and last but not least, some sad news. Royal Rumble. They had a promo for it. I don't remember where I read this. But apparently WWE is not doing a 40-man Royal Rumble. They're going back to 30. That kind of breaks my heart. I like the 40. I like 40 because you have, they have a huge roster. And with the 40 participants, more chance for surprise. You know, last year we had Kevin Nash and Booker T, and I think Roddy Piper was there. I don't remember, but I know Booker T and Kevin Nash. They were the main people. And with 40 people, you can have surprises. You could have Piper in there. You can have Jimmy Snuka. Who else have they had? I was gonna say Drew Carey, but that was just blah. But yeah, you can like bring back some former talents, put them in there, and yeah, what I really like about the Royal Rumble is you never know who's gonna be there. WWE likes to throw surprises, and the fact that they're going back to 30 kind of limits their surprises. So yeah, we'll just have to wait. One of my favorite pay-per-views ever, Royal Rumble. I love it, and it's coming up in January, so can't wait for that. So this was the weekly wrestling review. That's for it. It was a pretty short show. Next week we're gonna have reviews for Raw, SmackDown, Impact, Ring of Honor, more news, and predictions for the next TNA pay-per-view, Final Resolution. So that's it for the show. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you don't mind, rate the show, like or dislike. I have a question for you guys. Do you watch NXT? I was thinking about this the other day when I was watching SmackDown. Half these guys are from NXT, and I don't want to see them, you know? I don't watch NXT. I'm a pretty big WWE fan, that's why I know about them, but a lot of people don't watch NXT, so I want to know, do you watch NXT? Do you know what's going on? No, do you watch it now? Did you ever watch it or whatever? Did you ever watch it? Do you still watch it? Whatever. Because I watched the first 2 seasons. And then when they announced the third one, that was the Divas, I watched the first show, and then I almost vomited, so I never watched it again because it was really bad. So, yeah, it just went downhill from season 3. Anyways, so NXT, big pile of shit. So, yeah, have you ever watched NXT, or do you still watch it? And be on the lookout for the WWE Universe with WWE talent and TNA talent. Hopefully by Wednesday, you'll see it. And, yeah, I want to thank you guys for watching the show. See you guys next week. Peace out.